Hospital staff organizes surprise birthday for cancer patient. The emotional reaction is unforgettable and touches everyone's hearts. In a small hospital room, Eleanor lay in her bed, surrounded by the soft hum of machines and the faint scent of antiseptic. At 32, she was vibrant and full of life, even in the face of her aggressive cancer diagnosis. Her long, curly hair framed her face, and her bright blue eyes sparkled with optimism. Today, as she flipped through a magazine, she couldn't help but smile. "Look at this place," she said to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's filled with hope, even when it feels dark." Nurse Mia entered the room, her white uniform crisp and clean. She had been touched by Eleanor's spirit. It was contagious. "Good morning, Eleanor. How are you feeling today?" Mia asked, her tone cheerful. Eleanor looked up and smiled. "Like a superstar, Mia. Just a little tired, but I can handle it. I always do." Mia chuckled, but inside, she felt a wave of admiration for Eleanor. The woman's strength was unwavering, and it lit up the room. It wasn't long before the rest of the medical staff began to gather outside, sharing whispers and glances. "She deserves something special," Mia suggested, her eyes sparkling with an idea. "What if we throw a surprise birthday party for her?" The team nodded, their expressions shifting from concern to excitement. "But what if it's too much for her?" Dr. Samuel, the head physician, voiced the worry that lingered in the air. Mia shook her head, determination in her voice. "We can make it safe. Just a small celebration. It could really lift her spirits." As preparations began, the staff rallied together. Colorful balloons floated in the air, a rich chocolate cake sat waiting on a table, and a heartfelt birthday banner was crafted with care. The laughter and chatter among the staff grew, each person eager to contribute. "We should put her favorite flowers on the table," suggested a nurse named Clara, her hands already gathering daisies from the corridor. "And don't forget the music," piped up another nurse, humming a cheerful tune. Mia felt a warmth in her heart as she watched her colleagues work together. They were united by a common goal, and it made the hospital feel less like a place of illness and more like a home. As the day wore on, Eleanor continued to brighten the lives of others. She shared kind words with fellow patients and offered encouragement to caregivers. "You all do such important work," she told a frightened patient, squeezing their hand gently. "You are stronger than you think." But beneath her cheerful facade, Eleanor wrestled with fears. The thought that this could be her last birthday lingered in her mind, casting shadows over her bright spirit. She pushed the thoughts away, determined to focus on the joy around her. Back in the staff room, preparations reached their peak. Mia gathered everyone in a huddle. "Remember, this is about Eleanor. Let's keep it a secret and make it a day she will never forget." The team nodded, excitement bubbling in the air. They knew the risks involved in throwing a party for someone with Eleanor's condition, but they also understood the power of joy. As the clock ticked closer to the surprise, the atmosphere pulsed with anticipation. Laughter echoed through the halls as the staff finalized their plans. Would Eleanor be surprised? Would she feel the love that surrounded her? In her room, Eleanor remained blissfully unaware, her focus on her magazine, her mind wandering to the possibilities of life beyond these walls. Could she still achieve her dreams? What would her future hold? The countdown began. Eleanor's birthday was just around the corner, and the stage was set for an unforgettable celebration. Would this be a moment of joy amidst uncertainty? Would it be the spark that ignited hope in her heart? As the staff waited, hearts pounding, they knew one thing for sure. Eleanor's spirit would shine brightly, no matter what tomorrow might bring. Eleanor sat on the edge of her hospital bed, sunlight filtering through the window, illuminating her small space with a warm glow. She smiled at her roommate, an elderly woman named Mrs. Thompson, who was struggling to eat her lunch. "Do you need help with that, Mrs. T?" Eleanor asked, her voice bright and encouraging. Mrs. Thompson looked up, her eyes glistening with tears. "Oh dear, I just can't seem to manage this soup. My hands are not what they used to be." Eleanor chuckled softly. Here, let me help you." She gently took the spoon and fed Mrs. Thompson a few bites. The older woman's face lit up with gratitude. "You are such a blessing, Eleanor. I don't know what I would do without you." "You'd figure it out," Eleanor replied, waving her hand as if to dismiss the compliment. But inside, she felt a warmth spread through her heart. Despite her own struggles, she found joy in helping others. As the day went on, Eleanor moved from one patient to another, offering words of encouragement and sharing laughter. She had a special bond with everyone, even with the nurses who came and went. Each interaction was a reminder of her own fight against cancer, yet she chose to focus on the happiness around her. During one of her rounds, she encountered a young man named Jake who was battling leukemia. He sat in his bed, staring blankly at the walls. "Hey, Jake," Eleanor said softly, pulling up a chair beside him. "What's going on in that mind of yours?" Jake sighed, his eyes filled with doubt. "I don't know, Eleanor. I feel so lost. Sometimes it feels like I'm never going to get better." Eleanor leaned in closer, her expression sincere. "You have to believe in yourself. You are stronger than you think. Look at me. I have my bad days too, but I choose to keep fighting. We all have our battles. It's what makes us who we are." He looked at her, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. "You really think I can do it?" "Absolutely," she replied, her voice firm. "Just take it one day at a time. You've got this." As she left Jake's room, her thoughts dripped with memories of her own life before the illness. Flashbacks flooded her mind, dancing at summer festivals, hiking in the mountains, and planning a future filled with adventures. She had dreams of traveling the world, of writing a book, of finding love. Now, those dreams felt distant, overshadowed by her current reality. She sat down in the common area, lost in thought. Nurse Mia approached, noticing the change in Eleanor's demeanor. "Hey there, what's on your mind?" Eleanor looked up, forcing a smile. "Just thinking about everything I've wanted to do. It feels like it's slipping away." Mia sat beside her, her expression serious. "You have so much strength, Eleanor, but I can't help but worry about the birthday party we're planning. What if it's too much for you?" Eleanor tilted her head, pondering Mia's concern. "I appreciate your care, but I want to celebrate. I want to feel joy, even if just for a moment." Mia sighed, her heart heavy with the weight of the decision. "I just don't want to see you hurt, Eleanor. We all want you to be happy, but what if it makes things worse?" Eleanor reached for Mia's hand, squeezing it gently. "Life is full of risks, Mia. If I let fear control me, I'll miss out on moments that matter. I trust you, and I trust my strength." Mia nodded slowly, her heart warming at Eleanor's resolve. "Okay then, we'll make it a celebration to remember." As the day drew to a close, Eleanor found herself reflecting on the upcoming birthday celebration. She could feel excitement bubbling inside her, mixed with an undercurrent of uncertainty. Deep down, she sensed that this could be her last birthday, but she pushed those thoughts away. She wanted to cherish every moment, every laugh, and every smile. With a heart full of hope, Eleanor fell asleep that night, dreaming of balloons, laughter, and the warmth of the people she loved. Little did she know that this celebration would not only mark another year of her life, but also a pivotal moment in the lives of those around her. The day of the surprise party arrived, and a buzz of excitement filled the hospital room. The medical staff hid behind curtains and furniture, their hearts racing with anticipation. They exchanged nervous glances, whispering about the moment they had planned for so long. Nurse Mia stood near the door, her breath quickening with every second that passed. "Is everyone ready?" she whispered, her eyes sparkling with hope. "Ready as we'll ever be," Dr. Samuel replied, a reassuring smile on his face. He believed wholeheartedly that today would bring joy to Eleanor, despite the risks associated with her fragile health. "Let's do this." As the clock ticked closer to the moment they had all been waiting for, the atmosphere grew thicker with excitement and anxiety. The colorful balloons floated above, and the chocolate cake sat proudly on the table, waiting to be cut. The heartfelt birthday banner, decorated with bright letters, hung against the wall, a beacon of warmth and love. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and everyone held their breath. Eleanor walked in, her expression a mix of confusion and curiosity. The moment she stepped inside, the staff erupted in unison. Surprise! Eleanor's eyes widened and her mouth fell open in disbelief. For a brief moment, she stood frozen, processing what was happening. Then, as if a light had switched on, her face broke into an unrestrained smile. Laughter bubbled up from her as she took in the scene before her. "Oh my goodness, you all did this for me?" she exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. "Yes, we did," Mia replied, stepping forward to embrace her. "Happy birthday, Eleanor." The room filled with laughter and applause as Eleanor was enveloped in warm hugs from her caregivers. The joy in the air was palpable, and for a moment, the heaviness of her diagnosis faded away. Dr. Samuel watched from the side, his heart swelling with pride. He knew this was what Eleanor needed. "Let's get this party started," he announced, clapping his hands together. "Who wants cake?" "I do," Eleanor chimed in, her eyes sparkling. As the staff gathered around, they shared stories and laughter, creating an atmosphere of joy that echoed throughout the room. Eleanor felt a sense of belonging, surrounded by those who cared for her deeply. "Remember that time I tried to convince you all that I could sing?" She laughed, her cheeks flushed with happiness. "Oh, how could we forget?" Mia grinned. "You were convinced you could hit those high notes." Eleanor pretended to take a deep breath, ready to belt out a note, and everyone erupted in laughter again. The sound of joy filled the air, drowning out the worries that often plagued them. As the celebration continued, they shared heartfelt interactions and created lasting memories. Each moment was a reminder that life, even in its most challenging times, could still hold beauty and joy. "Thank you all for this," Eleanor said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I really needed this today. You all bring so much light into my life." Dr. Samuel smiled, feeling the warmth of her words. "We're grateful for you, Eleanor. Your strength inspires us every day." Eleanor looked around at the smiling faces, her heart full. "Let's make a toast," she suggested, raising her glass of sparkling juice. "To friendship, laughter, and the little moments that make life beautiful." The staff joined her, glasses raised high. "To Eleanor," they cheered, their voices ringing with sincerity. As they clinked their glasses together, Eleanor felt a surge of happiness. This moment, surrounded by love and laughter, was a treasure she would hold close to her heart. It was a reminder that, regardless of the challenges she faced, she was not alone. And in that room, on that special day, joy reigned supreme, weaving a tapestry of connection that would linger long after the party ended. As the laughter filled the room, Eleanor took a moment to soak in the joy around her. The vibrant decorations and the smiles of the staff made her heart swell with gratitude. Yet, as the excitement bubbled, a shadow of doubt flickered in her mind. She knew her situation, and that knowledge weighed heavily on her. "Everyone, can I have your attention for a moment?" Eleanor called out, her voice steady but soft. The laughter faded, and the room turned quiet, all eyes on her. "I just want to say that this might be my last birthday," she continued, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. A wave of somber reflection washed over the room, and a hush fell. The joy that had filled the air moments before now felt distant. Dr. Samuel, sensing the shift, stepped forward. "Eleanor, you don't have to think about that right now. Today is about celebrating you," he said gently, hoping to lift the mood again. Eleanor smiled faintly, appreciating his effort. I know, but I think it's important to acknowledge our fears too. Life can be unpredictable, and we all face challenges, but instead of letting fear take over, let's celebrate life and the moments we have together." Her words resonated deeply, and the heaviness began to lift. The staff exchanged glances, inspired by her strength. "You're right, Eleanor," Mia said, her voice filled with warmth. "We should celebrate every single moment we have." Eleanor's smile brightened, her spirit shining through despite the shadows of her thoughts. Exactly. Let's not focus on what we might lose. Instead, let's cherish what we have right now. This beautiful celebration, our friendships, and the love we share. A sudden spark ignited in the room, and one by one, the staff began to clap, their enthusiasm growing. The joy returned, mixed with a sense of unity that Eleanor had created. She felt an overwhelming wave of love from her friends and caregivers, each one touched by her words. "Group hug!" shouted one of the nurses, and laughter erupted as everyone moved in closer. They wrapped their arms around Eleanor, creating a warm cocoon of support. In that moment, they were not just staff and patient. They were a family facing life's challenges together. Eleanor felt the strength of the hug, the warmth of their bodies pressing against hers. "Thank you all," she whispered, her heart full. "This means more to me than you can imagine." As the group hug slowly released, the atmosphere shifted once again. The staff shared stories of their own fears and challenges, finding solace in Eleanor's encouragement. The celebration transformed into a heartfelt exchange of experiences, laughter blending with tears as they embraced the complexity of life. "Eleanor, you have such a gift for bringing us together," Mia remarked, wiping a tear from her cheek. "You remind us that we are not alone in this fight." "I think we all have a bit of that gift," Eleanor replied, her eyes shining with sincerity. "It's just about being open and honest with each other. We can face anything together." The party continued, filled with laughter and heartfelt conversations. They played games, shared stories, and enjoyed the delicious chocolate cake. The earlier tension faded, replaced by a spirit of celebration and camaraderie. As the sun began to set outside, casting a warm glow through the hospital windows, Eleanor realized that this birthday was about more than just her. It was a powerful testament to the strength of community and the human spirit. She felt a deep connection with everyone in the room, a bond forged through shared struggles and triumphs. "Let's make a pact," Eleanor announced, a spark in her eyes. "No matter what happens, let's promise to celebrate each other. Let's lift each other up, always." The room erupted in agreement, voices echoing her sentiments. "We promise, Eleanor," they chorused, their hearts united in a shared commitment to support one another. As the night drew to a close, Eleanor looked around at the faces filled with love and hope. This celebration was not just about her birthday, but a beautiful reminder of the power of connection and resilience in the face of adversity. And in that moment, she felt truly alive. After the vibrant celebration, the atmosphere in the hospital shifted slightly as the staff began to reflect on the impact Eleanor had on their lives. In the staff lounge, Nurse Mia gathered her colleagues around the table, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. "Can you believe how happy Eleanor was?" Mia said, her voice filled with warmth. "It was like she lit up the whole room." Dr. Samuel nodded in agreement. Her joy was contagious. "I think we all needed that reminder to celebrate life, even in tough times." As they shared stories from the party, the laughter and smiles began to fade into a more serious tone. Mia looked around at her friends, her heart heavy with the weight of their shared experience. "We should do something more for our patients. They need a community, just like Eleanor has created for us." "What do you have in mind?" asked Nurse Karen, her brow furrowed in curiosity. "I was thinking," Mia started, her voice gaining strength. "We could organize weekly gatherings, a chance for patients to come together, share their stories, and support each other, just like Eleanor's party, but on a regular basis." The idea sparked a sense of excitement among the staff. "That sounds wonderful, Mia," Dr. Samuel said, a smile breaking across his face. "Eleanor has shown us how powerful connection can be." Mia continued, "We could have games, art therapy, maybe even a small book club, anything to help them feel less alone." Nurse John chimed in, "And we can include guest speakers, maybe even invite Eleanor to share her story. Her strength could inspire others." The enthusiasm in the room grew as they discussed details and logistics. the staff felt a renewed sense of purpose, fueled by Eleanor's unwavering spirit. They brainstormed ideas late into the afternoon, each suggestion building on the last. Meanwhile, word of Eleanor's celebration began to spread throughout the hospital. Other patients, inspired by her courage, started to share their own stories. In the hallway, Eleanor heard whispers of admiration and resilience. "Did you hear about Eleanor's birthday?" one patient said to another. "She is so brave. I wish I could be like her." Their words reached Eleanor's ears, and she felt a warmth spread through her heart. She did not want to be a symbol of bravery. She just wanted to share her journey. Later, she sat with Mia in her hospital room, her face glowing with gratitude. "Mia, I can't believe the impact my birthday had. It feels like something special is happening here." Mia smiled, her eyes sparkling. "It is, Eleanor. We're planning to have weekly gatherings for the patients. Your spirit has inspired us all. You've brought hope and joy into this place." Eleanor's eyes widened in surprise. "Really? I would love to help in any way I can." Mia beamed. "We would love that. Your story can help others. You have a gift for lifting spirits." As the days passed, Eleanor felt a renewed sense of purpose. She began to write down her experiences, hoping to share them with others. She believed that everyone had a story worth telling, and she wanted to encourage them to speak up. One afternoon, as she sat in the sunlit corner of her room, she wrote, "Life is a beautiful journey, filled with ups and downs. We all have our battles, but sharing our stories can bring us together. Together, we can find strength." When Eleanor shared her writings with the staff, they were moved. Dr. Samuel looked at her, admiration shining in his eyes. "Your words are powerful, Eleanor. They can change lives." "I just want people to know they are not alone," Eleanor replied softly. "We can all lift each other up." The chapter concluded with Eleanor feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. She had made an impact on those around her, and the hospital was beginning to transform into a community. Each day brought new connections and shared stories, and Eleanor was at the heart of it all. She realized that her journey was not just about her own battles, but about the collective strength found in unity and hope. As days passed in the hospital, Eleanor's health continued to fluctuate. There were moments when she felt weak, but her spirit remained unbroken. Her laughter echoed through the halls, a bright light in the often somber environment of the ward. The nurses and doctors, especially Mia and Dr. Samuel, noticed how Eleanor's positivity inspired both patients and staff alike. One afternoon, Eleanor sat up in her bed, her bright eyes shining. She looked at Mia as she entered the room with a tray of fresh fruit. "Mia, you know what we should do?" Eleanor said, her voice filled with excitement. "We should have a celebration of life event. It could be a day for everyone to share their stories and celebrate their journeys." Mia paused, surprised. "A celebration? But Eleanor, you're not feeling your best right now. Shouldn't you focus on resting?" "Resting is important, yes," Eleanor replied, her smile unwavering. "But I want to create joy, not just for myself, but for everyone here. We've all been through so much. Sharing our stories could bring us closer together." Mia smiled back, feeling inspired by Eleanor's words. "You're right," she said. "It could be a great way for everyone to connect. I'll help you organize it." Eleanor beamed, her energy infectious. "Thank you, let's make it happen. We can decorate the common room with flowers and streamers, and maybe have some music." As the days went by, the hospital staff rallied around Eleanor's idea. They hung colorful decorations in the common room and set up a small stage for storytelling. Each day, Eleanor visited other patients, sharing her vision and inviting them to participate. Her enthusiasm was contagious, and soon, many patients eagerly agreed to share their stories. On the day of the event, the atmosphere was filled with excitement and anticipation. Patients and staff gathered in the common room, which was transformed into a vibrant space filled with flowers, balloons, and laughter. Eleanor, despite her frail state, sat at the front, her presence radiating warmth and joy. As the first patient stepped up to the microphone, Eleanor clapped her hands. "You can do it. We are here for you," she cheered. The patient, an elderly man named Mr. Thompson, took a deep breath. "I never thought I would share my story," he began, his voice shaky. "But Eleanor has shown me that life is about connection. I lost my wife last year, and I thought I would never find joy again. But being here, with all of you, has reminded me that love never truly fades." The room filled with applause and smiles, and Eleanor's eyes sparkled with emotion. "Thank you for sharing, Mr. Thompson. Your story means so much," she said, her voice filled with sincerity. As more patients shared their stories, a sense of community blossomed in the room. Laughter mixed with tears, creating a tapestry of emotions that united everyone present. Each narrative was a thread, weaving them closer together. When it was Eleanor's turn, she took a deep breath. "I want to thank each of you for being part of my journey," she said, her voice steady. "Life can be tough, but it is also beautiful. I have learned that we must celebrate every moment we have. Let's promise to keep supporting one another, no matter what." Her words resonated deeply, and soon the room erupted into a standing ovation. The staff and patients embraced each other, creating a circle of unity and love. As the event came to a close, Eleanor felt a wave of warmth wash over her. She looked around at the smiling faces, feeling grateful for the connections formed. Mia approached Eleanor, her eyes shining with admiration. "You did it, Eleanor. You brought us all together. Thank you for being a beacon of hope." Eleanor smiled softly, her heart full. "We all have our battles, but together, we can find strength. Let's keep celebrating life, one story at a time." As the sun set beyond the hospital windows, the laughter and joy lingered in the air. It was a powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and love could prevail, creating lasting connections and inspiring everyone to cherish the gift of life. Share this story if you believe that hope and connection can illuminate even the darkest times. Leave a comment about a moment when a simple act of kindness made a difference in your life. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.